Is there a shock exit on the cards at West Ham? Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the West Ham Network. You've seen the new fixtures for the new season as West Ham start off our campaign at home versus Aston Villa. And we don't know what West Ham will turn up. We don't know what players will be available. We don't know what players will still be West Ham players. We don't know what players will become West Ham players. But this video is about a bit of a shock, I suppose you could say. Now, rumours have been going around for a few weeks that Italian clubs are snooping around one of West Ham's players. And I think you can probably tell from the thumbnail who I'm talking about. That player's Emerson Palmieri. And apparently now, not just Roma, but AC Milan are snooping around our left back. Now, according to 𝙍𝙀𝙋𝙊𝙍𝙏, who is a reasonably reputable journalist in Italy, has said that they are very keen and have started preliminary talks with West Ham or the defender about coming in to the club, AC Milan. Now, it's an interesting one. Emerson's Brazilian born, but has represented Italy at national level. Played in Italy, but currently, would he want to be the understudy to Theo Hernandez, who is the current left back at AC Milan? But then maybe AC Milan are looking at selling Hernandez to bring in some much needed funds and to maybe look at Emerson, who has been a breath of fresh air at that left back position with West Ham. And maybe that could be why West Ham are looking at several different options in that position, because we know that he could be heading out the door. On top of that, we've given a long-term contract to Aaron Creswell. Not a long-term contract, but an extension to his contract, because maybe we knew secretly that there was a real genuine reason and concern that Emerson would leave. And if Emerson was to leave, we're leaving, in my opinion, we're losing not just a very good player, a very good left back, a player that's been very good for West Ham since joining the club, someone that's multilingual, someone that connects the international players who don't have a great situation with the language, who don't understand the language, or can't connect with all of the players or the team or the squad. And I think Emerson seems to bring a lot of people together. You've seen that on the season that we won Europe, that he was the kind of main focus and translator for Lucas Paquetá and Ben Rama. And he was always around all of those players and making them feel at home, because he's got a lot of history and experience of playing in the Premier League. So to lose someone like Emerson would be not great, to be honest with you. But as much as it's not great, we do have Emerson tied into a contract with us. He's with us until the end of June 2026, so 2 more years, with an option of a further year into his contract. He is 29 and he has played very well for West Ham since joining the club. He's been when I say very well, I mean he's been a consistent performer. He's been an extremely consistent performer. Of course, he goes down in the record books for winning the Champions League, the Europa League, the Europa Conference League, the Super Cup. And he's won absolutely everything that's come his way in terms of European football. And he has been, like I said, a breath of fresh air for West Ham in that potential left-back position. But Sky Italia are reporting that they're making a concrete move to try and bring him in to the club. So they said that they've been following him for several and a strong amount of time, a long time, and have now made a concrete move to sign him. But I don't know how I feel about this one. I am all for change. I'm all for, selling players necessarily if they don't want to be here. But I don't think changing up our defense so dramatically is the right option. Let me reiterate, this is reports. There's nothing saying that this is kosher. This is true. This is factual. So we have to be mindful of that. But sometimes, some of these reputable journalists can get it right. But it does make you think that maybe that's why West Ham are looking or keeping their eye on the market for other left backs. And one of those potential left backs is this player here. This one might surprise you, Ryan Sessegnon. Now, apparently, West Ham, according to 𝙍𝙀𝙋𝙍𝙏, who we all know is good friends with West Ham owners, are mulling over a move to bring the former Tottenham left back in on a free transfer. He's a free agent after being released by Tottenham Hotspur, and he's looking for a new opportunity after a difficult spell with lots of injuries. Lots of other clubs are interested in the 24-year-old. Fulham are one of those clubs that had some form of initial contact. Of course, there would be no fee to bring him in. And I think 𝙍𝙀𝙋𝙍𝙏 is keen to bring in a player to try and challenge that left back position. And what's interesting, though, which contradicts sometimes the stuff that they say, 𝙍𝙀𝙋𝙍𝙏, who we all know is connected very well to the West Ham owners, says that they're looking to bring in competition for Emerson Palmieri. So this is why this is interesting topic of story coming out today regarding AC Milan. The thing about Sessegnon, though, is he can play as a wing back or left winger, and he was rated as one of the best players in England when he left Fulham originally back to join Spurs back in 29, but he did struggle to settle to life in Tottenham, and in part because of his fitness problems, he only made 38 league appearances in 5 years at Spurs, featuring only in one game after a hamstring surgery last season. But what can West Ham do? Can we bring the best out of Sessegnon, who was a strong player when Antonio Conte was in charge of Spurs during that kind of Champions League qualifying situation? And on top of that, Ryan Sessegnon would also hit that homegrown quota. We have to always be mindful of the fact that some of these players that we're linked to would hit the homegrown quota. So rumors are wild saying that Emerson Palmieri could be leaving West Ham to head back to the Serie A in Italy, with AC Milan snooping around, interested in bringing him in, and West Ham could be mulling over the move to bring in Ryan Sessegnon from Spurs, or released from Spurs, I should say. So let me know your thoughts in the chat. Join us for the Hammers headlines later on, and take it easy and come on, you Irons.